Hey there, my name is Project Leet, aka Tony, and I've seen a ton of Valorant clips in the past few days since the official launch of the closed beta. These range from some sweet kill clips, showing off the power of agent abilities, and some good old-fashioned sick memes. But I haven't really seen anything regarding the basics of what you should know ahead of time that might give a beginner an edge when playing Valorant. So that's why we're here. Today I want to go over a few key concepts that I think every player should know, including tagging, crosshair placement, flicking, angles, and off angles. So without further ado, let's get right into it with the first concept, tagging. Tagging is the sudden decrease in movement speed when a player takes damage. Let's break it down. In this first image, note the black circle is attempting to move to the red X. Pretty straightforward, right? Now let's say you get tagged trying to do the same movement. In this next image, instead, you end up at the new red X, where you're most likely picked off. Most games tend to have this concept, except in Valorant it's a lot more extreme. Let's run back the video. Notice how once I got tagged, I slowed to a crawl. Instinctively, I slide to the right, cut any angle of the enemy had on me, and managed to accelerate just in time with a little bit of panic to get to safety through that portal. If anything, just remember this. Tagging in Valorant is the equivalent of Terry Tate, the office linebacker, coming at you with ruthless aggression. So now that we've talked about tagging, let's focus on connecting your shots using good crosshair placement. Good placement can benefit a lot of beginners by reducing the amount of effort and reaction required to get a kill. So you typically want to scan chest to head height in any openings or corners where you suspect an enemy to appear to be standing. Remember though, with the addition of abilities in Valorant, some of them might be a little higher than you expect, so make sure you adjust based on the player tendencies and personal experiences as you play the game. So now you got good placement with your crosshairs. Perfect. Let's get it right, let's get the flick of the wrist. Flicking is known to gamers as a sharp reactive movement to an enemy. You could have small flicks, big flicks, all sorts of flicks. These are usually the hype moments of a match. The trick here is to find a sensitivity that you prefer, load up in the shooting range, and sit about medium distance apart, as that tends to be the typical range of engagement in Valorant, but don't be afraid to experiment up close or far away. And typically, if you're performing flicks and find your aim coming up a little bit short, turn the sensitivity up. Alternatively, if you're going past the target, try turning the sensitivity down. It's all about finding that sweet spot and tapping into your sensitivity.
Tap it in, give it a little tappy.
Overall, having solid crosshair placement will reduce the amount of effort and reaction to a flick, thus making it easier to flick, thus making it easier to kill. Simple math, right?
2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3, quick maths.
But let's move on to the most important piece, angles. Angles are varied per map, and playing a good angle can be critical when playing defensively. Hugging or staying close to an object or wall will reduce the amount of your body that's visible to the enemy. Also, it can give you a means for an escape when things start to get really hot. Try to pick areas that you can escape or rotate around, so that way you can get the jump on someone who thought they knew where you were. Now that we established good defensive angles, let's discuss the next level, off angles. Off angles are positions and areas in which an enemy might not expect someone to be at. They tend to be much more aggressive or riskier than a typical angle. Due to the risk, these have a much higher reliance on a user to have either a high level skill and or reaction time. So there you have it. With this video, we covered the concepts of tagging, crosshair placement, flicks, angles, and off angles. Hopefully you learned a thing or two, and I wish you great success in Valorant. If you'd like, feel free to drop a comment on what other topics you might be interested in relation to Valorant, or drop me a follow on my Twitter or Twitch at Project Leet. Thanks for watching, good luck, and have fun.